My name is Tajiana. I go by Taji. Welcome to the podcast, Sis, Hear Me Out. All right, guys, so today we're going to speak on how being a Black woman, specifically in the area that I went to for college. So I went to Eastern Washington University, and I have good things to say, and I don't want to say not so great things, but just things that was a little bit more challenging for me specifically. I ended up loving it. Sorry if you heard that car in the back. I ended up loving it and gaining a lot from it, speaking on like my life, how I view things, how I view people, and how I view God. And I do think that when you go to an area that is completely different from what you're used to. I'm used to like city. And this was not so city. It was more like a long drive. You'll see stars. I'm like, stars? Like, you really can see them and stuff like that. It's just crazy. Like, I learned that when I get older, I definitely want to settle down somewhere that's a little like I'm able to experience more nature than city, but we'll see what the future may bring. But I really, I have some good things to say and I have some challenging things to say. And so I just want to start off with my home life before I went to college. So my home life before I went to college was it was great, but it was a little tough. Like, I was doing 35 sports is what it felt like, and helping my mom take care of my siblings, and it was great and all, but at the time my mom and dad kind of split, and so there was a lot more responsibility on me, and so I was kind of completely drained. I was like, I'm doing these hard-ass classes. Excuse my language. I'm doing these hard classes. I'm dropping the kids off, helping them with homework and picking out their clothes and stuff like that. It just gets draining. And so I was ready to peace out. Ask my mom, ask my siblings. I was ready to go. I was like, bye. I'm off to the boonies. So I kind of chose I still wanted to be close to them though, because I love them. We're tight. So I chose the furthest school in Washington, but not too far for me to drive to them. So I like that I picked Eastern because it was far enough for me to experience my own life and choose my own choices and, do my own thing, and also get to know who I am and what I want to really do, while also being able to travel back to my family, to check on them and for them to get updates from me. And so when I went to the school, I scoped the scenery out, but I really didn't scope the scenery out. Like, when I got there, I was in complete culture shock. Like, people were trying to touch my hair. I went to Walmart, and there was I swear on everything, it was maybe 6 inches at Walmart. It was 6 inches of product for my hair. It was how many rows? It was 1, 2. It was about 5 rows, 6 inches. This is the choices I have. I had to go home and build hair meaning braiding hair, because I like to braid, and I'm Black, so my protective styles, especially because I was 4 hours away. My mom did my hair. That's a whole nother story. I had to learn how to do hair. That's a whole nother story. But it was a complete culture shock. I was like, oh my gosh, like, how am I gonna survive without the city? But in this time, I was really able to sit in my mind and really connect with people. And so one thing I did in college was to get to know everybody. I lived in a really nice dorm. I was on the 5th floor, and I would sit and make things in the common room, is what they would call it. And it had like a kitchen, and I would go in there and just talk to people and meet people. And then I was also on like the rec intramural sport type thing, and so I would do scorekeeping, and so I met people through there and stuff like that, and I started to build a community of people that like for me, I love sports, so like sports, and then things like that. And so, oh my gosh, this is like a side note, but when I went to the day where you unpack and everything like that, what is that called, like opening day? I don't know, I guess opening day. I told myself while I was driving to Cheney, Washington, I said, if God finds me here, I'll follow him, but if not, I'm gonna do what I need to do. I'm gonna, if I want to go party, I'm gonna party. If I want to go smoke, I'm gonna smoke. If I want to go do this, I'm gonna do this. Like, I'm gonna do what I want. I'm gonna just be me for real. I'm gonna just live. But if God finds me here in this place, then I'll follow him. And so literally we go to opening day. The first girl I meet is from this church, and she comes up to me. Her name is Riley. She's such a wonderful person, guys. She was so sweet, and she came up to me and she was like, hey, can I get your bags? And, she gets my bags, helps me to my dorm, and she's asking me all these questions, and I'm like, well, like, what are you doing? Like, who are you from? Like, what do you do here? And she was telling me she was from this church on campus, and I was like, no way. Like, the first person I meet here like is from a church. And so then on, like, I'm slowly, I'm doing what I want to do, but she plugged me in with some people. So I was doing that also, and until there was this like I went to one of the church services, and they were speaking about this thing called Elevate, which is this 10-week discipleship program. And I was like, oh, I'm going to go there. But I was also nervous because I was like, most of these people here are not the same color as me. And so if I go on this trip, I'm going to be like for real by myself, but not by myself, but by myself. You know what I mean? Anyway, it was, and this is another story that I have to tell you too. How I even got there was only by God, but I ended up getting there, and I met some wonderful people. I was in one room with 10 girls, and just like I said, culture shock. And so I do want to encourage you guys to explore, get out there, do that thing that you're like, oh, I would never do, or, really find yourself and find what God's purpose is for you, and don't be afraid to open little doors and be like, oh, okay. Oh, that doesn't work. Because I'm telling you, like, going to Eastern was one of the best decisions. I didn't see it at the time, but now, like, one of the best decisions I've ever made, because I was able to really get to know myself, get to know what I like, get to know what I don't like. And and honestly expand my vocabulary and expand my thoughts, and also just how to talk to people and coincide, because I I did not expect to really not be around, my culture and stuff like that. And anybody from Chini would be like, you couldn't tell, but I don't know. I guess also do your research before you move somewhere, so that way you're not in complete shock. But at the end of the day, it was great. It was wonderful. You know, there was definitely those times where people would like try to touch my hair, would say little slick comments. And so I've definitely learned also to teach people instead of like trying to fight, because I know some of the stuff that was said to me. I'm like, if you said some of these things to where I'm from, like, it would be a problem. But it was a really good teaching moment for me. God was teaching me patience. He was teaching me love. He was teaching me, I feel like, all the fruits of the Spirit. He was definitely teaching me that. I was like, wow, love is patient, love is kind, love is for real. But I am really grateful for that moment, and I'm really grateful for God and the Holy Spirit, because it was discernment after discernment after discernment. I felt like a lot of the time, and it was studying, applying it to life, studying, applying it to life. And so I am very, very grateful and thankful. And I pray that everybody that is listening to this, or even who doesn't listen to this, I pray that they really have patience with themselves and patience with other people, even, because everybody's not perfect. Everybody's a sinner. They're going to mess up. So practice patience and practice kindness and practice love, because a lot of people don't know how to do it. And so when you show it, I've noticed that when I was showing it, I was also receiving it. And so, even don't expect to receive it, but when you show it, just know, like, the reap what you sow type thing, that is true. It's very true, and it's very honest. And so, I just want to encourage you guys to step outside your comfort zone, step outside your box, and really get creative with your life, and just be honest, and honestly too, be grateful for what you have in that moment, because that time, that home life when I was struggling, I learned, and the stuff that I learned there, the patience, the frustrations, the balance that I learned before I went to Eastern, I definitely applied it to college and to my relationships and stuff like that. Speaking about friends, families, foe even, I applied everything that I've ever learned to college. And so I'm very, very grateful, very, very blessed. And I pray that we continue to move forward, and I pray that we continue to be better people. And yeah, guys, I love you. And thanks for hearing me out today. My episode will be next Thursday. I usually try to have it by midnight. Wednesday, by midnight, but sometimes things happen, life happens. But regardless of the fact, it will be posted on Thursday. So please tune in on Thursday. Also, if you want to help support, you can go on my website, SisHearMeOut.com. There's ways to support on there: Cash App, Venmo, Buy Me a Coffee. That is a really cool website. And yeah, I just updated my thing. It's on my podcast is on YouTube now. It's on iHeartRadio. It's on Amazon Music. Yes. And Spotify and my website. I'll have it on my website too for you guys to download if you'd like. But yeah, so I'm excited to see where this goes, and I'm excited to expand our community and my sisters, and I am excited to see where this takes me. And so, yeah, I want to thank you for tuning in, and peace out.